Welcome to the Bachelor's Degree Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka. This program is part of the Faculty of Education and Teaching. On September 15, 2015, based on the decree of the Minister of National Education of the Republic of Indonesia, number 26 KPTI 2015, the Bachelor's Degree Program in Educational Technology officially established itself as the sole program under the auspices of the Faculty of Education and Teaching, FKIP, providing opportunities for prospective students from diverse backgrounds, whether recent high school graduates, pre-service, or experienced teachers, in service. The primary focus of the Bachelor's Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka is on open and distance education. In this program, students are not only engaged in understanding theories, but are also encouraged to integrate technological developments into practical and applicable learning experiences.
Our study program is a pioneer in formulating the best approaches and practices in the field of open and distance education. We also have built a strong foundation for future leaders to navigate the dynamic of global education. We also supported by 3 professors with international level of reputations as competent lecturers. Our study program has established itself as a leading reference in the field of open and distance education to reach the international level.
As a field of study, educational technology is used globally to enhance performance of human resources. Educational technology is aimed to create instructional programs that can facilitate human learning and performance. It is implemented both in school and training programs. Educational technology implements the systematic and systemic procedures in developing effective and efficient instructional programs.
May I describe and confirm that the undergraduate program for educational technology at Universitas Terbuka, characterized by integrating the use of appropriate technology and scientific application of design, development, implementation, and evaluation, and research and ethical practice to improve the quality of instruction to facilitate students' learning.
Bachelor in Educational Technology of Universitas Terbuka have to prepare to be an international forum as a global citizen. That's why the lectures from Educational Technology of Universitas Terbuka have to publish articles in reputable international journal. The lecturer have to participate actively in international conferences in educational technology that will be enhanced and open the horizon of the lecturers in the innovation of educational technology, which will have an impact for the student of educational technology to prepare for the global and international exposure.
The Bachelor's Degree Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka has achieved remarkable milestones in its academic journey. In 2022, before graduating its first batch of students, the program successfully applied for accreditation and achieved an excellent Category B rating. Currently, the Bachelor's Program in Educational Technology is fervently preparing for a new achievement by stepping into the realm of international accreditation. The graduates of the Bachelor's Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka have proven the strength and relevance of their qualifications in the workplace. Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka. Harmonization of education.
Would you like to pursue a career as an elementary school educator like myself? The Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka is the solution. Welcome to the Primary School Teacher Education Program, Faculty of Education at Universitas Terbuka. This program envisions becoming a premier program in preparing skilled professional elementary school teachers through open and distance education. The Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education currently holds accreditation A from BAN-PT and boasts the highest number of graduates in primary school education who have successfully secured positions as civil servant teachers. To achieve the program's vision, the Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka offers opportunities for current elementary school teachers to further their education in accordance with their teaching responsibilities. Through a distance learning system, the Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka extends its services to elementary school teachers across the entire archipelago who lack the opportunity to attend regular face-to-face classes at traditional universities. Universitas Terbuka Quality Assurance System aligns with the statements of best practice from the Asian Associations of Open Universities and the quality review indicators of the International Council for Open and Distance Education. Furthermore, the quality of Universitas Terbuka management processes has garnered recognized from various ISO certification bodies since 2006.
And I'm here as a part of the quality review of the University Terbuka. And I have been really impressed by what I've seen here, both the Indonesian hospitality.
I'm deeply impressed by the heart for quality of this university.
And I'm really impressed what University Terbuka's Indonesia are doing. And I have followed the process since 2016. And it is impressive to see. And I am also so impressed. And I used to take University Terbuka as a good example of how you work on quality and how to include all the people involved.
Adapting to technological progress, the Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education integrates information technology into both educational management and learning procedures. This encompasses offering online tutorials, self-paced exercises, enrichment materials accessible online, and various other technology-driven services. The program maximizes the use of technology and online information media for competency enhancement services based on technology, including through the GitLab platform coupled with the communities of practices for innovative learning program. For practical courses, learning processes can be conducted through online practices. However, if students prefer direct, face-to-face practices, the regional study centers of Universitas Terbuka will facilitate them. In addition to these learning aids, there are also online self-paced exercises such as radio tutorials available anytime through the Universitas Terbuka TV YouTube channel, MOOCs parenting services, and more. The Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka is dedicated to ongoing enhancement in education quality, aiming to cultivate top-notch graduates with the potential to create a global influence. These graduates may excel in roles such as elementary school educators, assistant researchers, fledgling researchers, practitioners, or education consultants. Isn't the primary school education program at Universitas Terbuka impressive? Let's work together to cultivate elementary school teachers equipped with academic, social, and professional skills through the Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka.
Welcome to the Bachelor's Degree Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka. This program is part of the Faculty of Education and Teaching. On September 15, 2015, based on the decree of the Minister of National Education of the Republic of Indonesia, number 26 KPTI 2015, the Bachelor's Degree Program in Educational Technology officially established itself as the sole program under the auspices of the Faculty of Education and Teaching, FKIP, providing opportunities for prospective students from diverse backgrounds, whether recent high school graduates, pre-service, or experienced teachers, in service. The primary focus of the Bachelor's Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka is on open and distance education. In this program, students are not only engaged in understanding theories, but are also encouraged to integrate technological developments into practical and applicable learning experiences.
Our study program is a pioneer in formulating the best approaches and practices in the field of open and distance education. We also have built a strong foundation for future leaders to navigate the dynamic of global education. We also supported by 3 professors with international level of reputations as a competent lecturers. Our study program has established itself as a leading reference in the field of open and distance education to reach the international level.
As a field of study, educational technology is used globally to enhance performance of human resources. Educational technology is aimed to create instructional programs that can facilitate human learning and performance. It is implemented both in school and training programs. Educational technology implements the systematic and systemic procedures in developing effective and efficient instructional programs.
May I describe and confirm that the undergraduate program for educational technology at Universitas Terbuka, characterized by integrating the use of appropriate technology and scientific application of design, development, implementation, and evaluation, and research and ethical practice to improve the quality of instruction to facilitate students' learning.
Bachelor in Educational Technology of Universitas Terbuka have to prepare to be an international forum as a global citizen. That's why the lectures from Educational Technology of Universitas Terbuka have to publish article in reputable international journal. The lecture have to participate actively in international conferences in educational technology that will be enhanced and open the horizon of the lecturers in the innovation of educational technology, which will have an impact for the student of educational technology to prepare for the global and international exposure.
The Bachelor's Degree Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka has achieved remarkable milestones in its academic journey. In 2022, before graduating its first batch of students, the program successfully applied for accreditation and achieved an excellent Category B rating. Currently, the Bachelor's Program in Educational Technology is fervently preparing for a new achievement by stepping into the realm of international accreditation. The graduates of the Bachelor's Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka have proven the strength and relevance of their qualifications in the workplace. Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka. Harmonization of education.
Would you like to pursue a career as an elementary school educator like myself? The Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka is the solution. Welcome to the Primary School Teacher Education Program, Faculty of Education at Universitas Terbuka. This program envisions becoming a premier program in preparing skilled professional elementary school teachers through open and distance education. The Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education currently holds accreditation A from BAN-PT and boasts the highest number of graduates in primary school education who have successfully secured positions as civil servant teachers. To achieve the program's vision, the Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka offers opportunities for current elementary school teachers to further their education in accordance with their teaching responsibilities. Through a distance learning system, the Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka extends its services to elementary school teachers across the entire archipelago who lack the opportunity to attend regular face-to-face classes at traditional universities. Universitas Terbuka Quality Assurance System aligns with the statements of best practice from the Asian Associations of Open Universities and the quality review indicators of the International Council for Open and Distance Education. Furthermore, the quality of Universitas Terbuka management processes has garnered recognized from various ISO certification bodies since 2006.
And I'm here as a part of the quality review of the University Terbuka. And I have been really impressed by what I've seen here, both the Indonesian hospitality.
I'm deeply impressed by the heart for quality of this university.
And I'm really impressed what University Terbuka Indonesia are doing. And I have followed the process since 2016. And it is impressive to see. And I am also so impressed. And I used to take University Terbuka as a good example of how you work on quality and how to include all the people involved.
Adapting to technological progress, the Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education integrates information technology into both educational management and learning procedures. This encompasses offering online tutorials, self-paced exercises, enrichment materials accessible online, and various other technology-driven services. The program maximizes the use of technology and online information media for competency enhancement services based on technology, including through the GitLab platform coupled with the communities of practices for innovative learning program. For practical courses, learning processes can be conducted through online practices. However, if students prefer direct, face-to-face practices, the regional study centers of Universitas Terbuka will facilitate them. In addition to these learning aids, there are also online self-paced exercise such as radio tutorials available anytime through the Universitas Terbuka TV YouTube channel, MOOCs parenting services, and more. The Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka is dedicated to ongoing enhancement in education quality, aiming to cultivate top-notch graduates with the potential to create a global influence. These graduates may excel in roles such as elementary school educators, assistant researchers, fledgling researchers, practitioners, or education consultants. Isn't the primary school education program at Universitas Terbuka impressive? Let's work together to cultivate elementary school teachers equipped with academic, social, and professional skills through the Bachelor's Degree Program in Primary School Education at Universitas Terbuka.
Welcome to the Bachelor's Degree Program in Educational Technology at Universitas Terbuka. This program is part of the Faculty of Education and Teaching. Number 26, KP.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Our event is about to begin. We sincerely appreciate your readiness to take part in this morning's event. Please have a seat and make yourself comfortable. Thank you. The Honorable Dean of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Terbuka, Profesor Dr. Ucu Rahayu, MSc, our visiting scholar, Professor Karen Ferreira-Meyers from the University of Eswatini, South Africa, Vice Dean for Finance and General Affairs, Dr. Anda Isti Rohia, MA, PhD, Vice Dean for Student Affairs, Learning Services and Cooperation, Dr. Lidwina Sri Ardiasih, MED, all heads of the study program at the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Terbuka, all lecturers from UT Regional Office, and all of the attendees of today's event, and also our beloved students. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. Good morning to you all. Praise Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His blessings so we can attend this event this morning. Welcome to today's visiting lecture organized by the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Terbuka. I am Ayu Fahimah Diniawati, and I have the honor of being your host today for this exciting session. I'm delighted to see so many enthusiastic participants joining us today, both online and offline. Today, on Wednesday, 25 of September 2024, the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training of Universitas Terbuka proudly presents visiting lecture with the theme, What Can and Should We Know About Artificial Intelligence? We have gathered esteemed experts who will share the knowledge and insights on AI, a technology that is transforming the way we live and we work. Dear participants, before we dive into the discussion, please be informed that first, this visiting lecture is delivered in a hybrid session. The on-site visiting lecture was attended by the faculty member of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Terbuka, while the online session conducted via Zoom meeting and published on UTTV for students and the public. The second one, video and speaker access is only granted to moderator and speakers, while participants can only listen. Third, participants can also join this event from UTTV YouTube channel through the link that we share on the flyer. And the last one, participants can ask questions to the speaker through the Zoom meeting chat menu or Q&A feature. The moderator will present the selected questions to speakers for their response. Don't forget to write down your name and your institution. And for all participants joining in this room, please raise your hand to ask the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, to always develop the spirit of nationalism and patriotism, first, let's sing the national anthem of Indonesia, Indonesia Raya, then continue with the UT hymn. We kindly ask you to stand. Thank you. Please be seated. Dear audience, we will start the event by listening to the opening remarks by the Dean of the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Terbuka. Please proceed to the stage, Professor Dr. Ucu Rahayu, MSc.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. Distinguished guest, esteemed speaker, Professor Karen Ferreira-Meyers from University of Eswatini, Vice Dean for Cooperation and Student Affairs, Ibu Dr. Lidwina, lecturers, faculty members, and all students. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and pleasure to welcome you to today's visiting lecture centered on the interesting theme, what can and should we know about artificial intelligence? I would like to extend my warmest regards to our distinguished speaker, who graciously accepted our invitation to share her profound insight into this pivotal topic, which is increasingly shaping the future of education and many other sectors. This lecture provides a valuable learning opportunity and a platform to explore the critical impacts of artificial intelligence on teaching, learning, and the broader societal landscape. AI is transforming how we access information, conduct research, and educate future generations. At Universitas Terbuka, we are committed to embracing cutting-edge technologies that enhance the learning experience for our students, particularly in the context of distance education. With her extensive expertise, Professor Ferreira-Meyers will guide us through the multifaceted world of AI, helping us to understand its promises and challenges, including the ethical and societal consideration that we must address in the process of adopting these technologies. I would like to take this opportunity to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who has contributed to organizing this event. A special note of appreciation goes to our dedicated faculty and enthusiastic students whose passion for innovation and knowledge continues to drive our academic community forward. Let us take full advantage of this occasion to engage, ask questions, and expand our understanding of AI and its implication for the future of education. Once again, welcome to all of you, and I sincerely hope this lecture sparks thoughtful discussion and inspires you to critically and creatively reflect on the role of AI in our academic and professional lives. Finally, with the permission of all attendees and the blessing of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, this visiting lecture is officially opened by reciting Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Ucu Rahayu, for a very insightful welcome speech. Next, we have our visiting scholar, Professor Karen Ferreira-Meyers from the University of Eswatini, South Africa. Thank you and welcome to visiting lecture, the Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Terbuka. We are honored to have that you can share your expertise on artificial intelligence and its role in education and beyond. Let's use our valuable time to listen to and discuss the presentation with Professor Karen Ferreira-Meyers. And I would like to invite our moderator, Ibu Nurul Isra Fauzia, MSc, to lead the session and guide us through this insightful discussion. Ibu Nurul Isra Fauzia, MSc, please proceed to the stage and take the lead in conducting the visiting lecture.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Ayu Fahimah Diniahwati, SSE MSc, for the excellent opening. And before I moderate today's session, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Noisra Fauzia. I am a lecturer in English Education Study Program of Universitas Terbuka. And today, we would like to start today's visiting lecture entitled, What Can and Should We Know About Artificial Intelligence? And before we start the discussion, of course, we would like to invite our speaker, Prof. Karen Ferreira-Meyers. Let's give big applause. Yes, please. Okay, so good morning, Prof. How are you today?
Good morning, everyone. Lovely to be here. It's an honor to be with you this morning, and I really look forward to our interactions. I will be talking, of course, and I probably will be talking too much, so please stop me if it's been enough, but I'm happy to be here with you.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Karen. And by the way, I think you have a long journey in Indonesia. How is it so far?
So far, it's been really wonderful. I mean, I arrived probably almost a week ago, went from Jakarta to Palembang, had a conference there, the Sule IC 6th conference. I was a keynote speaker there. Then I had an opportunity to give some general lectures and to interact with doctoral students in a workshop. And it was just wonderful. And I've been feeling so welcomed by everyone I have met. Warm greetings, open hearts, open arms. It's just been wonderful.
Okay, glad to hear that. Wow, that's such an inspiration. Okay, so I think before you present, so I think please allow me to give a brief overview of your CV. And I'm sorry if I miss a number of things because when I see your CV, it's such a long
It's
CV.
It's too much.
So yeah, I think I just give a brief overview. So currently, Prof. Karen is a professor of the professor of University of Eswatini, South Africa, and she is also a research fellow in University of the Free State, South Africa. And she completed her PhD in University of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa in 2012. And she actively becomes the presenter and keynote speakers in a number of webinars. I think she already gave us an overview. And also she published a number of research. And her recent research focused on online learning and AI, design for future skills, a new paradigm of research, and literacy. I think you also do research on literacy, right?
Yes. Actually, my PhD was on Francophone literature on autofiction, which is a form of autobiography. So yes, I've done a lot of work in that area as well.
Yeah, such a wide area of research. And basically, particularly for today, in this session, we will explore a recent subject of debate in education, right? And Prof. Karen here will share her expertise related to things that we can do and should know about AI. So, Prof. Karen, the time is yours.
Thank you very much. I suppose I can talk from here. Is that okay? Or
Sure,
shall I
sure.
get up? Whatever works best, and I can use the clicker. Let me see if I can use this technology properly. All right. Okay. So I probably will move around a bit because I like to, be active and move while I talk. So the idea was now today we have this artificial intelligence. I think most of us are using the tools. Our students are definitely using the tools, which is why we need to really critically analyze what this is all about, what it can do for us, what it can't do, what it should do, and what it should not do. So this is, okay. Let me see, probably going in the wrong direction. Okay, got it. So it's for now, it is quite impossible for us to know what the impact will be of this beast, of this monster. I called it a tsunami a couple of days ago. That is the artificial intelligence. I called it a tsunami because it is so powerful, so overwhelming, and it can cause damage. So this is why we have a responsibility as educators to really think about what is going on. So the recent reports, the recent studies are now indicating that there might be an impact. There might be a view of things happening that we did not predict, that we couldn't even imagine. And I think since the launch of ChatGPT 2 years ago, we have seen this multiplication of tools. It is now fully pervasive in our lives. It is everywhere. Yeah? We can't escape it anymore. So today I just wanted to talk a little bit, discuss some of these possible impossibilities, these things we did not imagine, but that are now at our doorstep. I think those of us who like to read science fiction probably saw that as early as the 1940s and the 1950s, people were imagining this new world that we are living in today. So it's very exciting, but it's also very scary. And I will delve a little bit on language education, because that is really the area I come from, but most of what I will say is just applicable to any type of education and any type of teacher education. Okay, now I'm going in the wrong direction. All right. Okay, so I have a couple of questions here that I would like you to think about. I don't think we can discuss them now, but I would like you to think about them, and then perhaps maybe later we can talk about it more in detail. So what excites you as educators? What excites you in this new technology? What makes you think this is important for us to think about? And then in our daily lives, if you had an AI assistant for a whole day, what tasks, what duties would you like that AI to do for you? Yeah? I think in many cases, well, in my case, I would like the AI assistant to do things that I find boring, that are repetitive, that I need to do over and over again. Lots of administration that I would like to stay away from. So that is where an AI assistant for me would work, because that would mean that I had more time to think creatively, to find solutions for complex issues, and to do something good for the community I live in. Right, and then, of course, we need to think about the impact in the next 5 to 10 years, because we will have young learners and students graduating with this AI. So what will they be able to do after that? What skills are we imparting to them? Right, so a lot of questions, and I think I actually have, I have just one slide with the questions. I will also be sharing the slides, so you can have a look at them later. Okay, then of course we need to think about what AI is. If I would ask all of you, I'm sure you would have different definitions, different viewpoints on AI. I've just taken one that I think represents the overall. So it's the ability of a computer or of software, so a machine, to perform tasks that we as human beings would normally undertake. That is learning, that is problem solving, that is decision making, etc., etc. So that ability to generate fluent language. And those of you who have interacted with ChatGPT, Perplexity AI, Claude, Copilot, you have seen that the language that comes out of there is very much perfect. Of course, we'll need to discuss about that perfection. So then generative AI are those digital tools that provide that dynamic of human-machine interaction. Why is that important? Because we should be in control as human beings. We are the ones that should be guiding the machine and not the other way around. So we have a very important responsibility there. Right, so of course this AI and this generative AI is not something new. And maybe I should just ask quickly, when did AI start to be researched on? When did it start? Any idea? Can you put a year on it? Anyone? Any idea? I'm looking around, I can't see anybody. 4 or 5 years ago, all right. I think that's probably what most people would say. Yeah? As soon as the ChatGPT launched, this is when we started paying attention to it. But I have a wonderful timeline, and I don't know if it's my next slide. Yeah, the next slide after this one will talk about that wonderful event, which was actually from the 1950s. Can you imagine? Almost 75 years ago. So this is not new. Yeah? It's just that now we have started paying attention because that technology that was not available to all of us. It's the launch of the ChatGPT that made it available and visible to us. So when you look at this timeline, you see the different types of interventions relating to AI that have been taking place. So 1950s, we have the Turing test. The Turing test was something that came out of World War II, where the idea was really, how can we communicate, how can we decode coded material better. So that is where it all started. And then 1955, this is when the term artificial intelligence comes to the fore. Yeah? So this is the first time that people really talk about artificial intelligence next to human intelligence. And then we've got programs or software like ELIZA. Maybe some of you have heard of ELIZA. You've got Shaky, which is an electronic person, so kind of our robots of today. And then very interesting, between 1966 and 1997, we talk about the AI winter, the artificial intelligence winter. It looked like at that moment in time, people were not trusting what was happening. There was no money to put in this type of research, and so everything was on a standstill. So we needed to wait until 1997 when things, really started evolving rapidly. And then you see, almost every year there's something very important that's happened. In 2014, we've got IBM's Watson, which is a very interesting piece of software. Then we have Alexa. Probably some of you know about Siri. So this is then rapidly evolving until we get to 2022 with the launch of ChatGPT. So just for you to have an idea that this is not new, even though we think it's now new. What is artificial intelligence? Okay, we've talked about that software that is able, or those tools that are able to do things that human beings normally do, but it is composed of different types, different categories of technologies. So you have the cognitive computing, the computing that happens with a thinking mind. You have computer vision. When you go for a walk in nature, and for example, you find a tree that you haven't seen before, today we can use an app. I think it's made by Google, but it could be, there are many types of apps. We can take a picture of this tree, And immediately we will get the name in English, maybe in Bahasa Indonesia, we will get the Latin scientific name, we will get all the characteristics of that plant, whether it's poisonous or not, whether it's edible or not. So that is done by computer vision. Then we have machine learning. So the machine doesn't only execute what we ask it to do, but it keeps on learning from what we do. Now, this is very important because it means that when we interact with ChatGPT, I think if you have put in a prompt, if you have put in an instruction, and sometimes maybe you ask something about Indonesia, and the response you get is wrong. You see it immediately, this is not about Indonesia, this has got nothing to do with what we do in Indonesia or the cultures we have in Indonesia. And then many of us will close our laptop, we will close our smartphone and say, this ChatGPT is just nonsense. No, this is when we have to have that discussion, that conversation with the tool and say, ChatGPT, I'm sorry, but you are wrong. This is the information that is right. And then you give the information to the machine. So next time somebody asks about ChatGPT, somebody asks about Indonesia, they will get information that is correct. So this is where our responsibility also lies. Then there are the neural networks. Who of us is using Google Translate? Yeah? I can see some people, trying to put up their hands. I'm sure many of us use Google Translate or even DeepL, which is a similar type of translation environment. Now, if you used Google Translate 10 years ago, you probably would have cried if you were a translator because it was so bad. It was really, really bad. At that moment in time, it was using what are called semantic networks. So today, these machines are using neural networks, and the quality has improved tremendously. It's not foolproof, it's not always correct, but it is much better than it was. The machines for artificial intelligence also work with deep learning, and then the most important part is the natural language processing, meaning it can understand us. When I write an instruction, a prompt, that is not grammatically well constructed, the machine will still understand what I'm trying to say. Or maybe I am speaking with an accent, because we all have accents when we speak a particular language. So maybe I speak with an accent. The machine will understand that and will give me contextualized information. So those are all very, very important parts of artificial intelligence. And then I've got a whole narrative about the different categories of AI. So we've got narrow and general AI. I'm not going to go into detail there. And then the difference between machine learning and deep learning. You will be able to read that. I don't think I want to go into that. But just for you to remember that there are different categories, and this is important. Now, when we look at AI in education, there are also broad categories that are used in education. There are the intelligent tutoring systems. Does any one of you know a website that is called AI Tutor Pro, P-R-O? If you don't know that one, I would encourage you to have a look at it. It is made by a Canadian NGO called Contact North, but there are similar environments like that. And what is very nice there is that it can be used by a student to ask questions about a particular field of knowledge. So the student can ask questions and will get an answer. But then you can also ask the machine to ask you questions as a student that you must answer, and then you will get feedback. Yeah, well done. Or no, this is a good attempt, but you have missed point A, B, C, D. So this is very good for personalized learning, for independent, autonomous learning. This is where the student can now do the work him or herself. So we are there to guide them, but the student can progress in his own or in her own pace, which is very important. Then there are the personalized learning platforms where adaptive learning can take place. What does that mean? I'm thinking of a language learning app called Duolingo. Who of us here have used Duolingo? Anyone has used Duolingo? Yes, I can also see a few hands going up. Duolingo is wonderful. Yeah? Every day for about 15 minutes, you can do some lessons and you can progress and you are told you're doing well or you're not doing well, and the machine will adapt. So maybe I am learning Bahasa Indonesia. I am very good with my vocabulary. I've learned a lot of new words, but grammatically, I am a big zero. The machine, Duolingo, will understand that I need more work in the grammar field and adapt the exercises that it proposes to me. So then I can progress nicely also in the field where I am still weak. We are all in teacher education. We all know that grading is a horror story. Yeah? It makes us go like, no, this is the part of my job that I really don't like. And imagine if you are grading 500 scripts. Let's say you start on a Saturday morning, full of energy, you are ready, you are going to mark, and you have started. Will that first script be graded in the same way as your last script on Sunday evening? Never. Never, because we are subjective. By the time we are at the last paper, we are tired. We don't feel like doing this anymore. So we can become more strict or more lenient, but we are not grading in the same way. So the good thing about an AI tool is that it will be grading in a similar way. So it will be much more objective. That doesn't mean it is perfect, but it is definitely more objective. And then, of course, that administrative part. That, most of us, we need to make graphs, we need to follow the performance of our students, and luckily for us, there are already lots of types of software, of environments for us to work with, so that we don't have to do much or not as much as currently is needed. So that is a good thing. So those are all the types of the categories of AI as it is used in education. Then I have some more explanation, and this is based on the research, so that I wanted to just share with you a couple of papers that have really looked in these different, into these different categories. And then an overview. You can see lots of icons. If we were to put all the icons of today's existing AI tools, we would have different slides because there are more than 5,000 different tools today. Yeah? So that's why I was calling it a tsunami. It is overwhelming. Yeah? Which ones should we choose? Which ones are trustworthy? Which ones are reliable? Which ones do we have to pay for? Which ones are for free? Is there a difference in the quality of the ones we pay for and the ones that are for free? So these are all questions that we should be asking ourselves. So this is just an example, yeah? But I could have added 15, 20, 30 slides just with icons of different tools. But you can see they also can be categorized. So on this slide, we have those for linguistic creativity, so the text generation ones. I mean, that's where the ChatGPTs and consorts fit in. But we also have the ones for business, for marketing, for sales. We have the ones for improving the text that we generate. So Grammarly would be an example. We have them for the coding, the web development, all those tasks that in the recent past we needed specialized people for. Now we don't need those specialized people anymore because there's a tool for that. And many of these tools are very user-friendly, so we can figure it out on our own how to use them. Okay, musical creativity, visual, artistic creativity, etc., etc., etc. So a whole big amount of tools. In the next couple of slides, you also have a few other ones. So in the beginning, the chatbots were proposed to us. Now we can have our own chatbots. And I'm pretty sure that Universitas Terbuka has a chatbot to interact with prospective students. And this is probably managed by the university. And so it is adapted to the type of questions that regularly feature. So this is where it can be personalized or individualized. And I think that is very interesting. Also, ChatGPT now offers something called, it's also called GPT, where you as an individual or you as an institution can build your own GPT. Now, this is very useful because one of the issues we might have with AI is data privacy. So there is some data or some content that we only want to share with the people in our community, with people who are students or alumni of Universitas Terbuka. And this is where a localized GPT would be very, very interesting. Right, so all kinds, yeah, again, I have a couple of slides on that. On image editing, on content search, content generation, meetings. Otter AI is used to transcribe a meeting and to summarize the meeting, so it's very useful for reports of the meetings. For presentations, I mean, part of my slides have been generated by Gamma, so I'm sure many of you are using Gamma to maybe use them when you prepare your presentations for classroom work, for general productivity. Copy AI is a very good one there. So you can see lots of different ones. Scholarly research, I hope many of you are using Elicit or Consensus to do the literature review. Very, 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 very useful, very correct, because you also know that when you are using ChatGPT, the references that we get are rubbish. Yeah? They are just fake. They are hallucinations. You know, we can't work with those ones. But Elicit AI and Consensus AI and Semantic Scholar AI just give us very interesting literature reviews that are based on reality. Okay, for translation, for video, for writing, for improving the way we write, Grammarly is one of the really, really useful ones in English. So I'm not sure what exists for Bahasa Indonesia. Now, if nothing interesting exists, then this is your challenge. Make sure that there is a generative AI tool for Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, lots of advantages, but also lots of challenges. The advantages are related to the personalized learning. So we all know that if I'm learning something, I want a particular skill at a particular moment in time. I don't want to wait until the whole class is ready to move forward. I am ready, so let me move forward. This is where AI will come in very, very handy. It also enhances efficiency. So we talked about the objectivity, but also the speed at which certain tasks can be undertaken. That instant feedback, very important. Nobody learns anything if there is no instant feedback. So I can only move forward in my learning if somebody or something has told me you are doing the right thing, you can go to the next level. So this is where the feedback is extremely important. And then also accessibility. So inclusivity, accessibility, many, many tools to make sure that the learners with the special needs can also be included, which is very important. Now, major challenges. Yeah, the ethical part, I will talk about a little bit more later on, but also the dependency on technology. Those of you who have very small children or very small grandchildren know how much time these young kids spend with a phone in front of their eyes. So we need to think carefully. Are these the children that we want to see grow up? Will they be able to communicate with their family members, or will they be sitting on the same couch, on the same sofa, and being on their phones the whole time without even looking at each other? So this is one of the major challenges that we have. And then, of course, the bias, the discrimination. We are all very much aware that the tools were first developed in the global north. The global north doesn't understand much about the global south. So it's our responsibility to make sure that we are visible, that we are heard, that people know about our cultures, our languages, the way we live life, the way we see life. And then the over-reliance, I've talked about that. And then also the fact that when we share information, when we ask AI to make a summary or to highlight points in documents that we upload, there are issues with data privacy. Okay, so that's also very, very important. Okay, we know that ChatGPT can do a lot of things. It also has its limits. We've talked about the fake referencing, which is the major limit, I think. But yes, it can generate computer code. It can summarize research papers. It can write poetry. It can write songs. It can generate reports of many, many pages. It can write doctoral theses today. Okay? So that means we also now need to think about whether when we examine future PhD holders, are we still doing the right thing? Yeah? If they can get a full doctoral thesis done by a machine, are we still asking the right questions? Are we still checking whether they have the necessary skills? Maybe we are not. I'm really thinking we are no longer doing a good thing in that area. So we need to reimagine, reinvent the way we examine our MA students, our PhD students. Okay, ChatGPT and the other large language systems can also provide personalized explanations, offer real-time captioning, machine translation, have all kinds of libraries and data sets available to us. So a lot of things that are very much possible. Right, so when it comes to language learning, which is the field I come from, so I would like to share a little bit about that, there are many tools that now offer a way for us to engage, to be motivated, to learn as we go along. When we learn a new language, a foreign language, especially as adults, we feel very scared to talk. Yeah, we are easily embarrassed. We think if we can't produce perfect sentences, then people will laugh at us, they will judge us, so we feel very embarrassed about that. Now, what if, and this is possible, you can practice at home, in front of your laptop, in front of your smartphone, and you can have a conversation with a chatbot, with a conversational agent who will tell you, your pronunciation isn't fully there, please do some exercises to improve, I don't know, the pronunciation of A or I or let's do that. Or maybe you are using the wrong verb tense, then the chatbot will point that out to you. You are all alone. Your peers are not there. Your lecturer is not there. Nobody's laughing at you. People are you are getting feedback that is very objective. So that is wonderful for language learners, especially for us as adults who easily feel embarrassed in front of other people. So the AI tools for language learning can be categorized also into the language learning apps like Duolingo, Babbel, Rosetta Stone, etc., etc. The virtual language tutors who will guide you and assist you when you need particular information. The translation software, of course, but also the assessment and evaluation software, so it can tell you you are now at level A2 or at level B1 or at level C1, and so that you know also in which direction you can proceed, and many, many language learning games that are available. But again, the proviso, the pay attention to the bias and the discrimination, of course. Okay, in January 2023, Mahabali, from an activist, an AI activist from Egypt, gave us alternatives to ChatGPT. Now, she comes from a position where she feels that the Global South is not represented, and also that there is too much discrimination in the area of AI. And she often tells the story about the Kenyan workers who were used, or we can even say abused, when the data, visual data, was prepared for some of the AI tools. So these Kenyan workers were put in front of very violent images, even pornographic images. And they were asked, is this violent? What category of violence is this? Is this pornographic? What category of pornography is this? So the whole day they would be watching these horrible visuals. They were paid next to zero. So it was proper abuse. So we need to be very much aware of those things. Yeah, that these are things that are possible, but they are abusing human rights. So that is something we need to think about. The other major ethical challenge we have is the ecological one. Now, I don't know the numbers by heart, but the generation of data in the AI tools is extremely taxing on our environment. It produces a lot of heat. It's already hot enough in Indonesia. We don't need to add a couple of degrees. And this goes for many places in the world. So that is another major problem, is the ecology. So some of the tools there are still in existence. We've got the Perplexity AI, which is doing quite well at the moment, right? Then we need to think of how we're going to use AI in our classrooms, and I provide some examples there. One of the nice things I like to do to enhance critical thinking is ask a group of students to use the same prompt in different AIs, so in ChatGPT, in Claude, in Perplexity AI, in Copilot, in Llama, and then compare the answers. So this is, with the comparison, this is where you can really test their critical skills. Can they decide which one is better? Can they explain why it is better or why it is worse? So this is a very important activity. But there are many other ways. This comes from Teach Thought, which is a nice website that critically analyzes some of the things that come out of AI. So you can have a look at that one. And then, of course, ethics. Ethics is a major point, and I think the visual there really summarizes all the issues that there are around ethics. Fairness, reliability, transparency, where does the data come from? Who has put it there? Why is it there? Everything that has to do with privacy, we've talked about that, with inclusivity, but also accountability. Who takes responsibility when things go wrong? Can we say, I take responsibility for what AI has put out and I just used it like that without thinking? We should. Oversight, who has control? Who decides what goes where? And then the environmental well-being I just talked about. So it's a matter of balancing innovation with responsibility, with ethically sound behavior. Okay, so the privacy and data concerns can be addressed in different ways. We can make sure that there are measures in place to safeguard student data. We need to work with consent. Many times we take pictures We share them on social media. They get into the AI tools and we have no control over them. Yeah, we need to think about that. And we need to make sure that we have policies on data governance that ensures that people are represented as they are and as they want to be represented, not as to who I decide to include or not. Other things that can be done to mitigate, so to reduce algorithmic bias, is use diverse data sets. So not only those from the global north, let's include the ones from the global south and make sure that they are there. We can do algorithmic audits, so we can be checking what is going on with the algorithm. Is it still reacting in the way we want to react it? Is it still producing outcomes that we like? And ensure that there is human oversight. Lots of benefits of AI security, but also lots of risks of using the AI tools. I think I've touched on most of them. Maybe just to pick out that if we are able to identify where the problems are, where the vulnerabilities are, then we should also be able to propose measures to counter those vulnerabilities. And we also know that there's still hacking going on, there are still data breaches, so we must also try and find a solution to that one. Now we've talked about all the things AI is able to do, should do, can do, that we are happy with. We also need to talk about the things AI should not be doing. Because remember, there's always two sides to the coin. There is the positive, good for society coin, and then there is the negative, bad for society side of the coin. It can make spam, it can make ransomware, it can produce harmful information, biased content, instructions that maybe get people to commit suicide or to do harm to others. All that is possible. So we need to make sure that we check on that. And there is a very, very good resource, and the link is there, where the AI is analyzed from a critical point of view. So things that can go wrong and that have been going wrong in the past. I also would like to cite Lucy Avraoumidou, who is a Greek scholar who is looking at AI really from a political point of view, an ideological point of view. And she says, how do we resist supporting neoliberal, multimillionaire artificial intelligence companies? Yeah? Think of the Elon Musks, think of Google, think of all those big, big corporations that exploit workers in a world that is starving for empathy and emotional intelligence. So we can get some artificial intelligence, but let's also think as human beings. We also need emotional intelligence. We also need to understand that there are people around us who cannot access these tools. So we need to make sure that they can, if they want to. Right, then we've talked about the dependency or the over-reliance, but also the limited flexibility. The tools are getting better. Yeah, they are becoming more flexible. When we look at how ChatGPT was reacting 2 years ago and now, we can see a positive development. But there is still a lot of work to be done to make sure that the natural language processing tools react outside certain fixed parameters. So that is very important. Then I think more and more scientific publications, so we are all publishing, or we are all trying to publish, and we are all, of course, using the AI tools to publish more rapidly, to publish in better English, to make sure that we get published, because that is not easy if we come from the global south. And so Nature, one of the major scientific publications, but also many other scientific publishers, are now using some ground rules, some basic rules, saying that ChatGPT tool or a similar tool can never be the sole author of a scientific paper. So people have tried to write a full paper and get it published and saying this was produced by Perplexity AI, by Claude, by Copilot, by ChatGPT. So the scientific world, the publishing world has said, no, we won't accept that. Okay, step number one. Second important ground rule is that if you use ChatGPT or the like, we all do that, I am pretty sure of it. If we use such a tool, we must acknowledge it. We must say, I have used the tool and this is the way I have used it for. Maybe for brainstorming, maybe for planning, maybe for writing a paragraph, maybe for summarizing, maybe for writing my introduction or my conclusion, maybe to help me with referencing or literature review. So let's acknowledge that. Let's put that in the acknowledgement section and even in the referencing section. Right, many things are not possible yet. Yeah, but the way it is going fast, we might be getting there pretty soon. So the causal reasoning is still very dodgy. So is the abstract thinking, intentional creativity, and the AI tools have difficulty in understanding their own bias. We are all biased. Yeah? We all have stereotypes. We all have ideas about other cultures and other people that, you know, that we have formed over the years, but that are not always very correct. So that is something that is not yet possible. It might soon be, so we need to think about that as well. Okay, many research gaps. So anybody of you trying to do some research in the field, plenty of research gaps. Let's do the research. Let's work on the AI tools. Let's see how they are used. Let's see what ideas we have about them. Let's find out what are the benefits, what are the challenges, because these keep on changing over the years. And finally, I want to end with your permission, moderator, because I just go on and on. With your permission, I'd like to end with a tweet from Matt Miller. It's from 2022, so it's already a little bit old, but it still is very powerful, I think. So he said then, calculators, search engines, Google Translate, Wikipedia, Photomath, ChatGPT, all of these disrupt traditional teaching. We adapt. Education evolves forward. Blocking them is not the answer. Making education more relevant is. And I think on that, this opens a whole vast array of questions and speaks to our responsibility as educators. With that, I would like to thank you for your attention, and of course, I'm open to questions, comments, and suggestions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Karen. They are like such a thorough presentation. You give overview and the how to use the AI in education as well, also in our daily life. Okay, so I think here the participants in this room are eager to ask questions. So I think to start, we would like to invite the participants in this room to ask questions. So you can raise your hand. And for those who are online, you can also raise your hand and also write in the chat or Q&A sections. Okay, so first, we would like to invite questions from this room. Any questions? Okay.
Thank you. With AI, I think we are facing or we are leading to the world without border. So we cannot stop, we cannot control. We just to follow the world development. So since you are from South Africa, do your government has developed a regulation or in any other country you might know has regulation, or maybe in your opinion, do the AI need to be regulated so that we have the guidance to the uncertain future? Thank you.
Shall I answer immediately? Okay, excellent question. I think we need to find ways to control it. We need to find ways to regulate it. There are now many countries already who have national policies where AI is regulated and controlled by the national government. Also many institutions, in particular in South Africa, many universities now have AI policies. I was in Namibia last year and developed an AI policy in a workshop I held with them for the University of Namibia. I will be going back to Namibia in November, beginning of November, to work on one for their open schooling environment. So yes, people are thinking about it. As I said, many universities in South Africa. In my country, the Kingdom of Eswatini, where I live, we don't have a national policy. We don't have a university policy yet. We are working on it. But I think what is starting to happen is that individual lecturers now have guidelines for how they work with students, what is allowed, what is not allowed. So I personally allow my students to use the AI tools, but they need to tell me which tools they've used and for what particular part of the work. So I want them to be open and honest about it. Just like I am open and honest about it, if I prepare a presentation or a video for them, I will also tell them which tool I have used. So I think that's the first step. So for me, it's very important that we have some regulations. Those regulations, those laws, those policies need to be very flexible because things are changing very, very rapidly. So I think, it's very difficult for governments to understand how they can do that. Because we know once it is law, it stays law for many, many years, many decades even. So we need to find a mechanism, or governments need to find a mechanism to have legal regulations that are flexible and adaptable enough to change, or broad enough to include many of the rapid developments. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Karen, for answering Bu Tini's questions. And now we have another questions from Bu Wina.
Okay, thank you. Prof. Karen, thank you very much for the insightful presentation. Well, our eyes are open now, for facing everything with AI. And I think in UT as well, we are starting practicing AI for giving feedback and scoring in our weekly discussion forum for students. As we know that last semester we have around 550,000 students, and we have to manage more than 45,000 classes. And I think we start to apply the AI for giving feedback for students as well as scoring. So here I invite you to give your opinion about this and maybe your suggestions, what should and shouldn't, what we should and shouldn't do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Another very interesting question. And I think with the large numbers of students you have, you need to find ways to do some of this, in an automated, in an AI environment. However, I think you need to be very careful and monitor clearly what type of feedback is given. The feedback in general, unless we put enough correct parameters, the feedback in general is quite vague. So it doesn't always go in detail enough to be useful by the student. So just keep on monitoring what comes out of the machine and try and adjust, the parameters so that it becomes more specific to a particular student, so that the student can really benefit from that. There's been a lot of research on the automated grading of essays. It's not really what it should be yet. Yeah, but keep on looking what new tools come. But for now, I would be very careful with automated grading of essays in particular. But then I also think that essays are no longer the way to go. Yeah, so for me, let's find other ways. Let's do, verbal interactions. Let's do podcasting. Let's do e-portfolios. Let's find other ways where students can show what skills they have and what knowledge they now possess. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Buina, for the question and Prof. Karen for the answers. So do we still have questions from this room? We are still open for one more questions. Yes? Is there?
Thank you, Prof. Karen. My name is Tepati Hak Kewajiban. Your lecture is so fascinating, so much so that it reminds me of Skynet from Terminator movies. We at Universitas Terbuka is open and distance education institution, so we conduct learning through internet. Imagine the student use the AI for learning and assignment, and the teacher use the AI for generate content and tasks, and even the assessment use the AI to score the student. I'm afraid at the end of the day, the only one learning is the AI. So how can we at online learning improve the situation, especially in authentic assessment? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another very thought-provoking question that needs us to think, all together, because there are no set answers to that one. It is worrying indeed, because we are all as lecturers using AI, which is quite okay because we still have the knowledge base to see what is right and what is wrong. But for young learners to use only AI is very problematic. It's very dangerous because it means they can't think autonomously anymore. So people are saying, okay, we can use AI detection tools. Unfortunately, these tools are not very good because you have seen if you ask the same question today, you ask the same question tomorrow and the day afterwards, the answer will always be slightly different. So we can't say this is plagiarized, or this is, just copy and paste. So that makes it very difficult to say you have used the tool. I think we need to, in the line of authentic assessment, we need to really think of designing questions that require problem solving, that are project-based, that require people to collaborate. I think these are the skills we need for today. It's collaboration, it's communication, it's creativity, it's critical thinking. So if we can make assessment that really look for those skills, I think we will be doing a better job. That also means that then the AI tools can be used, but the end product must be a product that has the human intelligence involved. It also requires us not to evaluate only the end product. We need to evaluate the process. How did the students get to the final product? Which steps did they take? Was there any independent thinking involved in taking those steps? I think that's where our responsibility lies, to show that whatever we do to solve a problem involves planning, involves making decisions, involves working with others, involves communicating the results and the findings we get. And I think if we can do that, we are probably doing a better job than what we are doing now. So thank you. It's an open question and it's an open answer, but thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Pak Takwa, and also Prof. Karen. And I think I would like to invite questions from the people who are joining us online. So probably, yeah, we already got questions. So it is from Alipni Umul Umahat from Chemistry Education FKIP UT. So all the benefits of AI simplify both life and learning activities. My question is, how can we ensure that the students who use AI in learning, that they not break the rules of the integrity and ethics of academy? And does the use of AI have any potential to reduce critical thinking skills, ability, and creativity of students?
All right. Yes, more very interesting questions. I think for the first question, we need to have a conversation amongst ourselves and with the students. Ethical behavior is something that we should have throughout our lives. It is not something that only pops up when we are studying. So we need to have a culture of integrity and ethical behavior that is instilled from when we are very young. I think we also need to show or explain to students that if they are going to be dishonest, sooner or later in life, they will hit the wall. Yeah? It will end badly because there will come a time where they have to perform, where they have to showcase their skills. And if they have been cheating or if they have been academically dishonest for a long time, they won't be able to do that. So I think telling them that in future, if they want to do well in their personal lives, in their, professional lives, then they need to work with integrity. So I think that's the only way we can do. I don't think there's anything else we can do. We can just show them the way, talk to their emotional intelligence of understanding the importance of living a good, productive life. So that's for the first question. The second question talked about critical thinking and creativity and the unfortunate negative consequence that AI may have. You know, when there's an innovation, there will always be positive and negative. We need to monitor what is happening. We can't predict exactly what will happen. When we look back and we think of the calculator, we know that when the calculator first came, people said, uh-oh, now nobody will be able to count anymore. And kind of it's true, yeah, many of the young people can't count anymore. Yeah, they can't make simple calculations. They have to use the smartphone immediately. Yeah, so some of these skills are gone, but we are replacing them with other skills. So I think probably AI will have the same impact. There will be some negative consequences, but hopefully the main part of the consequences will be positive and will be used for the good of our societies. That's what I think. People may have very different opinions to that.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Karen. Yeah, I think I just remember from that case, like a number of, because during my age, we have to remember the, was it the table?
The tables, yes.
But these days, the
no more.
No more. Okay, probably we still have more questions. Okay, so we have questions from Muhammad Septa Rahman Shah, Elementary Teacher Education Program. So in this technological era, the use of AI tools such as Canva, ChatGPT, and AI-based courses like Duolingo has become increasingly prevalent. As teachers, our challenge is to be technologically literate so that we are not considered outdated by our students. Therefore, I would like to ask Prof. Karen for an explanation of the attitudes we should adopt as teachers in Indonesia to develop the use of AI in everyday learning. Additionally, could Professor Karen explain the positive and negative impacts of using AI in education? Thank you.
Right. For the first part, yes, we can't afford to be outdated. Already we are outdated. When you see what young people and young students are able to do with AI, you know, it's beyond what we are able to do. We need to keep up. We need to try and keep up as much as possible. And I think our attitude should be one of being inquisitive, being curious of what is out there, but also being having the mind of testing, evaluating, assessing what is there, and sharing what we think about some of the tools. So if we see a danger, or if we know that some tools are unable to do certain things, let us talk about that. Let us share those results, those findings of our investigations. So for me, the attitude should be a positive one, an open-minded one, one of collaboration, one of where we share things, but the students also share things, so one of co-constructing. I think that's the main attitude that we should have. And then about the positive and the negative impact of AI, I think I've spoken about it, but maybe just to say the negative AI definitely has to do with the perpetuating of bias and discrimination, the over-reliance, all those things I think are very, very negative. And then on the positive side, I think innovation. Innovation means we get more knowledge, we get better solutions for the problems we encounter. I just want to give one example. Since the use of AI, there has been medicine that has been able to be invented or discovered to find responses to particular diseases. So when in the past it took maybe 20 years to get a new medication approved, this can now be done faster because AI uses much larger data sets. So the medication that we find is much more reliable as well, so the impact will there be positive. So innovation, I think, and we need innovation because we have climate change, we have wars, we have discrimination, we have many things we need to look at, poverty included.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Karen. Do you still have questions? Okay, we have from Mehmet Chasmat, UT Bogor. Indeed, this is extraordinary webinar, Prof. Karen. I want to ask about, is there an AI that can search for journals that contain such as standard deviation, mean, and quantitative research?
Yes, I can see you are a researcher. You are looking for particular research and particular research findings. Very good. Elicit AI, consensus AI can do that. Yesterday, I was talking to some colleagues, and some were saying there are generative AI environments that are constructed specifically for exact research problems or research findings. So yes, definitely they exist. The ones I've mentioned can do a very good job already. You can even specify the dates. Maybe you want articles from 2000 to 2020, from 2020 to 2025, or you are doing historical research. You want to go back to the 1970s or the 1980s. All those parameters can be specified, as well as the statistical data that you are looking for. Yes, definitely.
Okay, so we've got a number of AI. Okay, now let's take a look if we still have more questions. So we have one question from Rahma from UT. How can artificial intelligence help improve the learning experience for students in open and distance education, especially in making sure that every student gets the support they need?
Excellent. I think, what has often been said about open distance and e-learning is that the students find themselves in situations where they feel alone. Yeah, they feel isolated. I think this is one of the ways where AI can definitely help with the conversational chatbots, with the conversational agents, having that interaction, that immediate feedback is very, very important, in particular for the open and distance learners. I also think it's important for them to have an environment where they can collaborate, even if they are not next to each other. So AI tools exist for that. I mean, other tools already in the Moodle environment, we have already many tools like that, but the AI tools are also getting incorporated in the Moodle environment. So that makes those opportunities like today's Zoom, for example, very much useful for our learners that are at a distance and often in an isolating environment rather.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Karen. And probably it also raises questions. I think like you did mention about inequality, but do you think like the development of AI, since it's kind of like really developed in developed countries already, so do you think it makes the social gap wider?
Yes, that danger is definitely there as well. I mean, just like the connectivity and, well, basic electricity access, but the connectivity has widened that digital divide, there is that danger, that risk as well with AI, that divide might even grow bigger. So this is again where as a society we have a responsibility to make sure that as many people as possible have access to AI tools. And I think even the bigger corporations have tried to do a good job by allowing many of the tools to have a free version. The free version is not always as good as the paid-up version, but personally, I am only using free versions and I'm pretty happy with it. I am pretty confident that they give me reliable information that I can double-check before I use it. So yes.
Okay, thank you, Prof. I think we still have time for one more question, and I saw there is also one more question from Zoom. So yeah, we have Syamsul Rizal for Universitas Puang Rimanggatulatung. Sorry. So how can we make sure that all information from AI that we get are fake or real? Do you think AI can be replacing teacher as an educator in the future?
Okay, let me start with the last one. No, never, ever. We need that human interaction. We need people to guide younger people. We can't just leave them all alone in that wilderness in front of that tsunami. It's impossible. We need to be there as educators. And I really think we will be there for a very long time. So people have tried to put robots in front of classrooms. There are interesting results from those experiments, but they don't replace the human educator. No, not at all. So that I'm very categorically about that one. So no, that will not happen. Now, the issue of the false, the fake information and the real information is a very tricky one. As I said, us who have gone through an education system, I think we are still able to kind of see what can be real and what can be fake, even though it's getting more and more difficult. I think for the younger generations, it is very, very tricky. So the only thing we can ask from all of us is to double check. So if you find information, not to accept it immediately, but to question, and this is where the critical thinking comes in, to question what is happening, to go see if there are references, if there are sources, where do the sources come from? Is this a reliable journal? Is this a reliable news agency? Can I double check in other websites, etc., etc.? So yes, but it's very difficult and it becomes more and more difficult.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think like if we check all of the questions, I don't think we have enough time. So probably I would like to summarize today's discussion. It is today's visiting lecture is such a thorough and insightful one. So I think I would like to highlight several things. So the first one is the importance of critically think about the use of AI. And the second one is the use or like the spread of AI also highlight make our responsibility bigger as a society and as an educators particularly, and how we need to make sure that our younger generations can guide the AI, not to be guided by them, including ourselves. And then the next one is it also raising concern related to like the data privacy and also the importance of concern in every data that we collected. And yeah, I think like in terms of research, it's also important to acknowledge the use of LLM in our research. So I think that's from my summary, but any concluding remarks from Prof. Karen?
Okay, my concluding remark will start by congratulating the moderating on making that summary by her own human intelligence. Yeah, she was not using any tools. I was checking her. So that is great. So it means it's still possible and we should still endeavor to get there. So well done. I would like to thank everybody for the questions asked. I think this is an ongoing conversation. We must definitely not stop. We need to keep going and critically evaluate what is going on in the world of AI. And I would like to thank the Universitas Terbuka for the opportunity of having interacted with everyone. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Karen, and also thank you everyone for all of your time and participations. And shall I stay here or shall I return first? Sure. Okay, let's give a big applause to Prof. Karen. Okay, so as a moderator, I would like to apologize for any mistakes, and then I would like to return the baton to our host, Bu Ayu Fahimah Diniyahwati SSI MSc. So that's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ibu Nurul Isra Fauzia MSc, for expertly moderating today's insightful discussion. I also would like to extend my deepest gratitude to Professor Karen Ferreira-Meyers for sharing invaluable knowledge and perspective on artificial intelligence. Please give an applause to our distinguished speaker. I'm sure today's session has sparked a lot of curiosity and interest in AI among all of us, and it will encourage further exploration into this critical topic. As a token of our appreciation, we would like to present a certificate to Professor Karen for her valuable contribution to today's event. I would like to invite Professor Dr. Ucu Rahayu MSc, Dean of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, to come forward and present the certificate to our distinguished speaker. Thank you, Professor Karen and Professor Ucu Rahayu. Please remain on stage because we will take a group photo. We invite all Vice Dean of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training, Universitas Terbuka, to join the stage. Maybe also all heads of study program to come forward to take a group photo. Okay, the second part, group photo with the audience. May I ask Prof. Karen Ferreira-Meyers, Prof. Ucu, and all Vice Dean to turn around, please. And for audience in this room, please stand up. And all participants on Zoom, I kindly ask you to open the camera. Okay, thank you all. Okay, maybe we can also screen capture. Mas Fahri, may you help us? There is how many slides? 4 slides. Okay, for the first slides, please all the participants on Zoom to give your best smiles. Okay, for first slides. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Mas Fahri. Okay, the second one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the third one. Please open your camera and give your best smile. Okay, and the last one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all participants in this room, please stand again. We will take a photo with the participants on screen. The photographer, may you help us to take a photo? Okay, the participants on Zoom, please give your best smile. Okay, with the moderator, please. Okay, and the host too. Okay, thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude today's event, we have something exciting lined up for you. It's door prize session. So we will be using the spin-off wheels to draw 5 participants who asked the question through Prof. Karen at previous session. So let's get ready. Mas Fahri, is it ready? Okay. Let's draw the first one. Okay, the first lucky one is Pak Dr. Tepati. Congratulations. Okay, we're going to the second one, Mas Fahri. Okay, the second one is Pak Mehmet from UT Bogor. Okay, Mas Fahri, thank you. Let's going to the third one. Yeah, congratulations to, is it Mbak Rahma? Okay, is it Mbak Rahma? Congratulations, Mbak Rahma. We have 5 door prize. 4 or 5? 5. Okay. We're going to draw the fourth one. Ibu Rumtini. Congratulations, Ibu. Okay, we are going to draw the last one. Who's the lucky one? Congratulations, Ibu Litwina, our Vice Dean. Once again, congratulations to our 5 lucky winners. Each of you will receive a special door prize. Please stay behind after the event to claim your prize. For those who didn't win today, don't worry. There will be more opportunities in the future. Okay, we hope you enjoyed the little surprise. Let's give an applause to our winners. Oh, the the last one from Ibu Wina. The opportunity will be given to students that asked Prof. Karen at previous session. So we will draw one lucky one. Oh, Bu Lidwina choose Mas Septa. Okay, congratulations to Mas Septa. Dear all participants, I kindly inform you to all, please fill out the online feedback form for those who's joining online. It is shared through chat menu, and all audience here, please scan the barcode shown on the slide. Kindly be informed to use your Gmail account. A certificates will be sent to the registered participants who attended the event and completed the feedback form. And the last one, participants can download the speaker's presentation material through a link that provided by the committee. Once again, thank you to the speaker, moderator, organizer, and all participants for making today's lecture such a success. We hope the insights shared today will be beneficial to your academic and professional journeys. As a host too, I would like to apologize for any mistake that may have occurred. We look forward to seeing you at our future events. Thank you all and have a wonderful day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.